This is the first in the series of the bowling alley project, and we're going to start out with assembling all the parts of the environment. First, let's look at a sample of a final product. Okay, so that was a very basic example. I'm sure if you looked at the student examples already, you saw that many of them got very creative with their environments. Now I've hidden all of my layers, and let's look at this in stages. The main part of your background has to be set up into two pieces at least, so that you can hide some of the elements that show up later on in the animation. When the pin setter comes and picks up the pins, when the sweep rack comes down to sweep the fallen pins away, those need to be hidden behind something. So here's the bottom part of my background. And I will show you later on how you can get pieces of image files put into a vector layer. Obviously, with this image, I needed to hide the pins that show up there. So I had to include a black piece. That's just a vector object. Also, I extended the little floorboard area there on the lane to hide the bottom of those pins. So I have a little brown piece in there. I have a very basic vector object for the pin setter. It's sitting up here right now. Let me hide that for just a moment. Here's another very basic vector object for the pin sweep. So both of them are sitting up there and will be there until they're needed later in the animation. Now both of those are hiding behind the top panel, which I have split into two pieces. Here's the larger part of it, and then another part of it right here. So you see that that hides the sweep and the pin setter. I have one pin that I have created so far for this example. It's inside of a bone folder. This is where I'll put all 10 pins. Here is the title for the bowling lanes. And the ball needs to start off stage, which is why you can't see it yet. Here, I'll move this up, turn it on. So here's my ball. And no, you do not need to draw a face on your ball. I just thought it looked pretty cute rolling down the lane with a face on it. So the first thing you need to do is decide what you want for your environment. You can do a Google image search for bowling alley. It's best to find a front view and something from as low a perspective as you can get. In other words, you want to get a perspective that is as close to the ball's perspective as possible. Nothing too high. You can use the image as your guide, and you can draw everything with the drawing tools in the software, or you can use the image, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And as you saw with the student examples, this project can look great whether you use photos or whether you just draw all the parts of the environment from scratch. In the online classroom, I have provided pins and sounds that you can use. You don't have to use those. If you want to strike out on your own and get more creative, do something different, that's fine. But these are resources for you to use if you want them. So start out by making a plan. Decide what you want to have for your bowling alley environment. If you're going to be working with any images, get those downloaded to your computer and get them ready. I'll pause now and we'll continue the lesson in the next video.